Well, good day, folks. This is the newly released Zontes 400K. Originally, I was planning to buy a 400E. When I saw the 400K, I fell in love with it. I have about 425 kilometers on it. After completing the purchase of the 400K at Bristol Motorcycles in Caticlan, I immediately jumped into Manila traffic, headed for the South Luzon Expressway on my way to Batangas Seaport, where I planned to catch a ferry to Caticlan and then ride across Panay Island to Roxas City and then on down to Iloilo. Ultimately, I was going to put on approximately 400 kilometers of ride time during this delivery ride home to Iloilo. Well, here I am at Batangas Port. It's quite an adventure to come down the SLEX. Got thunderstormed on, doing 100 clicks an hour, and rain coming down like cats and dogs. After loading that passenger bus, they then brought my motorcycle on and tucked me right next to that yellow truck, right up at the front of the ferry. Well, going up the ramp. Once aboard the ferry, this young female steward met me and escorted me to my quarters, which was a private room for two. I had to share it with another passenger. Well, pulling out of port right on schedule. It's 7:30. On the way out of port. Ten hours to go. Going that way, going south. Breakfast time, such as it is. Coffee, tuna sandwich, and a bakery item. That'll have to hold me for a while. It's about 4:45 in the morning, so about another 40 minutes or so before we hit port in Caticlan. Well, here we are in Caticlan Port. Arrived about 40 minutes early. Good deal. I'll go to the cabin, collect my stuff, get ready to deboard or unboard or whatever you want to call it. Get the motorcycle ready to head for Roxas City. Well, here I am just on the outskirts, just outside of Caticlan, after I stopped to fuel up for the trip to Roxas City. And I thought I'd stop and take a nice video of the sunrise. You can see the fishermen going out here in the morning. And it's a beautiful sunrise today here in just outside of Caticlan on the coastal highway. And so I'm on my way. It's going to be about 3 hours and 15 minutes according to Waze. Between Caticlan and Calibo, there's a lot of beautiful scenery. The winding roads, the hills. There was a lot to see, but on top of that, I got a great opportunity to experience the handling qualities of the 400K, and it did not take long at all before I was completely comfortable with this scooter and the way it rides, the way it handles. I was really enjoying the ride. Well, I finally decided after 2 hours and 15 minutes of riding to stop in a wide spot in the road here and take a break, a little stretch, drink some water out of the bottle, and nothing particularly special about this particular area, why I picked it, except that it's a wide spot in the road and convenient to stop without being in the middle of traffic. This is just past a little village, I think it's called Altavas. I'm about an hour and 15 minutes out of Roxas City at this point, well east of Iloilo. The first about 25 kilometers coming out of Caticlan is very windy and hilly, and you know, you pass through some jungle areas, you pass through some forested areas, which you can tell the difference, and very windy and hilly. Great for motorcycle riding, except for this morning it was kind of wet with a little bit of drizzly rain, which meant, you know, don't be going too fast through the twisties unless you want to end up off the side of the road. So it's kind of dry here right now, and once I got past Iloilo, the road opens up, the speed increases. You know, you can get up to about 80 kilometers per hour and still enjoy some twisties, but there are more sweeping turns along this section of road here. So I'm really so far enjoying the ride, and looks like I'm going to hit Roxas City right around 9 o'clock in the morning. I apologize for the video quality. Without a camera mount, I had to rely on the dash cam cameras that are mounted on the scooter. And not only that, because I had not yet downloaded the software, I was unable to download videos to the USB. So these videos come straight off of the screen on the 400K. Here I am at my intermediate destination, Roxas City, and of course across the street from me right now is the San Antonio Resort, where if I decide to stay the night, I will probably get me a room there. And here's the Canadian Beaver Bar, which I'm hoping to eat lunch here, and then after I do so, I will determine whether I'm going to stay overnight or press on to Iloilo. So, hasn't been bad. It's been a beautiful ride. I have enjoyed the scenery all the way across Caticlan on that coastal highway, and it's just been beautiful. You can't really explain it. I wish I'd been able to video more during the ride, but pictures and video just don't do the job. You know, you really don't experience the Philippines until you get out into these rural province areas and ride through them, and there's no better way to do that than on a motorcycle or a scooter. Anyway, chat you later. A lot of fishing going on. This is the fishing end of the town in Roxas City, I think. Look at this, rows and rows of fish being dried in the sun. Well, I decided not to stay the night in Roxas City. Decided to push on to Iloilo, and learned a valuable lesson. During the rainy season in the mid-afternoon, you're going to get rained on. And that turned out to be the case for the majority of the rest of the 2 hours, 30 minutes or so ride to Iloilo from Roxas City. And I experienced it all here. Heavy rains, deep standing water. Through it all, the scooter really handled well. Right here you can see I had to pass a truck and hit the throttle pretty hard in order to get past him when the lane suddenly went away on me back there. The scooter handles really well in all conditions. The anti-skid and traction control systems are just completely transparent. It only took a few hours of riding, and I was so, how can I say, I became so familiar with the bike that I really began to forget about it. I already felt like it was part of me. I'm finally making it to the subdivision that I live in Iloilo, and I'm really happy to see that front gate go by as I ride the last few blocks to the house. And a testament to this bike is that after a little over 24 hours, about 9.5 hours of riding time, and very little sleep, I still feel very good, although I'm soaking wet from all of that rain. But it's a testament to the handling qualities of this bike and the posture. My shoulders don't ache and my butt doesn't hurt, and that's a lot to be said for a touring bike. Most of the features in the 400K are basically the same as the 368K found in other countries. The 400K is a limited edition found only in the Philippines. One of the big differences is you'll notice that this has an inverted front fork. Another major difference that you can see right off the bat is this pillion on the, lumbar support on the seat, not found on the E. And standard on this one is a mounting point for either a rear seat back or for a top box, which the E does not have this bracket here. You have to do a modification in order to put a top box on the E model. The other thing you'll notice here, of course, is the very clean lines of the K model versus the E. They've cleaned it up considerably. It's more of a GT touring look than these kind of sporty look that you find on the E. And the E also has a slotted windscreen. This one here is slightly wider, and I don't know if it was due to aerodynamic testing or what, but they took out the slot to make a cleaner looking windshield on the K. In other countries they have heated handlebar grips, but you'll not find that on the Philippine models. They deleted that. The E model has a USB right underneath the 6 3/4 inch display, but in this one it's located off to the side and has a sealing cover here to prevent water damage when it's not in use. Getting a look at the controls, you can see here that on the rear brake you have a parking brake here that can be used when it's on side stand like this to prevent rolling. And so far I wasn't sure if I was going to like that or not, but it's been very handy to use. Also notice here is a passing switch to put the high beams on for passing. Here's a low beam, high beam switch. emergency flashers, turn signals, push to cancel in the middle, horn underneath. This is the windshield up and down. This has an electronic windshield, also found on the E. This is another feature that I really liked that you didn't find on a lot of other scooters, is an adjustable electronic windshield. So you can do this on the fly while you're driving it. It's either full up or full down. And then of course these two switches here are used for settings on the display, which I may go into later. We'll see. Another nice feature about these bikes is the handlebars. I really wanted, when I decided to order or get a maxi scooter, a lot of that was about I wanted the extra stability that comes with a maxi scooter. And part of that is these, you'll notice that the handlebars are kind of offset to the rear of the pivot point here on the front wheel. And that's really helpful in stability, especially at higher speed. And also notice that it's a wider handlebar setting, which also adds to that. These are also adjustable. It can be moved aft about 1.5 inches from its current position. I'm just happy so far with it in the current position that it's in. On this side here, we'll notice that here is the fuel tank opening. Let me see. I'll go ahead and power it up here. And that opens the door up down there. You notice there is no rotary knob here like you find on a lot of scooters. Makes for a lot cleaner look. Everything is located on the handlebars on these bikes. So has a 17-liter fuel tank. That's also unique to this and the E model. Really gives you a good range, about 425 to 430 kilometers depending on driving style. Right below it, of course, is the seat release. And that seat release, you can see a very large storage compartment here at the rear. It will handle 2 full-size helmets. I have tested it. Both the forward and the aft are capable of each holding a full-size helmet. And this, if you need some additional space, you can pull this little divider out. And I have already carried it with my backpack, a helmet, and even put groceries in here. It's quite a bit of space. I'm very happy with that so far. And I've got my little tool kit right here. It's a very large compartment. I'm quite happy with that. The rear shocks are adjustable. I have left them so far at their stock setting without any desire to change them. It's riding quite well so far. Also on these bikes, both the E and the K have the both front and rear full-time dash cams. These are 1080p and they take 1-minute videos. You can have room for 30 pages, 16 videos per page, so it can record quite a bit of time. You can also push the set button up here when you're running the bike, and it will take a picture at that particular moment off of the forward camera. And you can see here's the forward camera mounted up here. Other things on the controls up here, of course, this is your on-off button. And here is your ignition cutout button. As mentioned, fuel and seat. Here is your headlights. When it's in the right position, it's on running lights only, and on the left position, Headlights are on. And then right below it, of course, is the start button. Starter engage. These bikes are, as you can see, equipped with hand guards. Bike is larger than many. It comes in at about 195 kilos with full tank of fuel, which I find very acceptable. I'm used to a much bigger motorcycle. It has a single cylinder overhead cam 4-valve fuel injected engine that puts out 40 Newton meters of torque, and I believe it is 38.5 horsepower. It's got a dual anti-lock brake system, front and rear, and a traction control system. The traction control system has no switch. It is a full-time traction control system, which with this amount of power, I don't even notice it. I rode this bike 400 miles home from Manila to Iloilo, or I should say 400 kilometers, and about 9 hours of riding. And this was extremely comfortable, considering I got home in 9 hours of riding in about a 24-hour period, and I actually felt quite good. I wasn't sore. My shoulders were not aching and killing me. So this thing is really a touring bike with no downside. I'm quite happy with that. For the size of scooter and the power, it makes a really good cross-country machine. Coming back to the controls, I realized I had missed the Eco button. This is a dual riding mode on the electronic ignition, on the fuel injection. It has an Eco mode and a Sport mode. Some people say they don't see any difference. I did notice that in the Sport mode that the off idle was a little bit jerky. It's tuned for mid to high throttle settings in Sport mode, and when I used Eco, it was much smoother and much more acceptable for riding around town and stop and go traffic. I have found that I'm defaulting to Eco with the amount of power and torque that this bike has for a scooter. It's very acceptable, and I didn't find that I have a need to put it in Sport mode. Another thing I didn't mention was that this is a constant velocity transmission, a CVT system, with a belt drive for the final drive system. And it's very smooth. I don't notice any vibration almost at all in the handlebars. The whole scooter is very smooth. And another thing to mention here while I'm at it is that this windscreen is very effective. At over 75 kph in a heavy thunderstorm, and I mean heavy. I had a lot of rain coming down, just extremely heavy, and everything just streamlined right around the scooter and right on over the top. I wasn't getting wet at all until I slowed down below about 60 kph, and then of course I started getting soaked with the heavy rain. But at speeds up to, I haven't had it up above about 115 kph was the maximum I got on the expressway on the SLEX coming from Manila down to Batangas, and it was just smooth as silk. I just realized I said that the highest speed I attained was 115 kph. The reality of it is I just didn't try to take it up above that speed because of the traffic on the SLEX at the time. Others have said that they're easily gotten the E model, and I'm sure that's the same with the K, at least, all the way up to 160 kph. One of the final things here to talk about is the glove compartments. There are two of them up front here, and you can see they're quite cavernous. This is a 1 liter bottle, and they say it will accept up to a 1.5 liter bottle in here. It's very good size. There is also in here, right in the top, there's a little flap that you can open up and put a charging port to keep the battery topped up. And they gave me a trickle charger along with the scooter when I bought it. So that's where we would hook up the trickle chargers right there. This right side here is not does not lock. So if you have anything that needs to be locked, you have to put it in this left side, which remains locked unless you power the scooter up. There we go. You'll see right here there is a USB port that has a C-type and a standard A-type USB in addition to the one that was up here on the main dash. So those are fast chargers. My understanding is up to 18 watts of charging capacity, smart charging. When the scooter is running and the lights are off, this is what the running lights look like. They're actually bright enough to be driving down the road at night and not even realize you don't even have your headlights on, which may or not be a good thing, but I got used to it pretty quickly. Remember to turn the lights on. One of the ways you know that the lights are not on is that these controls are not illuminated. So if I come over here and switch that on, you can see that these controls on the handlebars are now illuminated with LED backlights. And there's the lights on in the low beam. Got the two inboard LED projector lights illuminated. It's the rear running lights. See the brake lights are on. There's the electronic windscreen. It's a nice feature. Okay, here are the lights, just on running lights actually. You can see that there's no lights on the backlighting on the handlebars. And it's rather deceiving because it would appear that this is ambient lighting that you're seeing, but actually what you're seeing there is the running lights. So when I turn this on, there we go, now we're on low beams, and you can see the handlebar lights are on, and here is the high beams. So really good coverage on the lights. I'm quite happy with that. Another thing you will notice here, typical of Zontes, is this is actually the keyless ignition right here. So you just wear this like a watch, or you can put it on a key fob and keep it in your pocket. But as long as that is within 1.5 meters of the scooter, you can activate the scooter and ride it. You'll notice that there is no separate switch, as a lot of scooters have. All the controls are located on the handlebars. Here we can take a look at some of the display options that are available from within the screen settings. On the left side, you will see the tire pressure monitoring system, which I failed to talk about earlier. You can see the pressure and the temperature for both the front and the rear tires. And notice on the right side of the digital information, there's a graphic. And if you get low tire pressure on the front or the rear, you will see the green tire turn red to grab your attention. Just a brief mention about the camera recording screens. 30 screens of 16 videos each for 1 minute duration, and they're recorded in 1080p in color. You're going to see an example here of one of them that you can play back right on the motorcycle screen itself, or you can download them to a USB. This is a lower quality than what you will see with the downloaded version because I actually took this video right off of the screen on the motorcycle. Bristol Motorcycles supplies a 24-month or 20,000 kilometer warranty, whichever occurs first. But like all warranties, you need to read the disclaimers to understand what is covered and what limitations may apply. The Zontes manual for the 400K is actually based on the 368K due to the limited edition of this motorcycle. But this manual is very well illustrated, well written in English, and I was actually quite surprised at how thorough it is, especially by adding in all of the maintenance information that you may need to cover the motorcycle. The low-speed handling on the Zontes 400K I consider to be very good. For 195 kilos and sitting rather high as most maxi scooters do, I find the overall slow speed handling quite good. I'm used to a heavier motorcycle with a lower seat height, so this took a little bit of adaptation. But as I rode the scooter through traffic on the delivery ride from Manila, I found that indeed the motorcycle or this scooter handles very well. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Zontes 400K. I very much am enjoying it so far, and if you did enjoy this review, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. This is a new channel, and I will be using this motorcycle to help me cover deep diving around the Panay Island and other places in the Visayas. So thank you very much, and